they might be needed elsewhere. Mike Hemp in Washington.
The Supreme Court has rejected a call to overturn its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices on Monday turned away an appeal from a former Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the Supreme Court's 2015 ruling. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 381 points, the Nasdaq rose 522, the S&P advanced 103. More at townhall.com.
Americans everywhere are on edge. The government shutdown has dragged on, and every day that passes, the markets grow more uncertain. When anxiety grips Wall Street, the first thing that takes the hit is your retirement savings, your IRA, your 401k. Everything you've worked for can suffer a loss of value virtually overnight. And now, with the Fed preparing another rate cut, precious metals are poised for dramatic gains in the coming weeks. That's why so many Americans are calling Advantage Gold at 800-741-GOLD to learn how to roll over a portion of their retirement funds into physical gold and silver. When paper assets crumble under government dysfunction and global tension, precious metals stand firm. Don't wait for the next market shock to erase what you've saved. Call Advantage Gold at 800-741-GOLD. Get your free gold kit now. It'll show you exactly how to secure your IRA or 401k with tangible assets. Call 800-741-4653 now. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
China is using a new visa program in a bid to recruit top tech talent from around the world.
China is stepping up its game, introducing a new visa scheme aimed at wooing foreign professionals in science and technology. The K visa is similar to the H-1B visa in the United States. Tighter U.S. immigration policies and uncertainties around the H-1B visa system have made China relatively more appealing. However, language barriers, quality of life issues, and internet censorship remain big challenges for China. Rich Thomason reporting.
Wendy's plans to close hundreds of U.S. restaurants over the next few months in an effort to boost its profits. A Dublin, Ohio-based chain said during a conference call with investors it planned to begin closing restaurants in the fourth quarter of this year. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com. A Russian missile.
On-point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear and chilly this evening, our first freeze, with a low temperature dipping down to 27. Tomorrow, very breezy, chilly, but a day filled with sunshine for Veterans Day, the high reaching just 50 degrees. The rest of the week looks wonderful. Sunshine all the way into the weekend. We're warming up the highs Wednesday and Thursday into the 60s and onto the 70s for Friday and Saturday and Sunday. No rain scheduled till maybe Sunday. I'm Cal Malsh with your on-point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
This is The Point.
Make thepointradio.com.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk Media Network. Manic, chilly Monday. Coming at you from our studios at The Point in downtown Columbia. Phil Kornblut, joined by Chris Bergen from the Bergie Palace. We have the plumber, Josh Cohen. And our phone number is 888-898-2525. That's how you can join us. 888-898-2525. Also, text message line. You can reach us there as well. 803-900-4847. Busy weekend. Went up to Clemson. Up there Saturday night. Beautiful night. You know, one thing I didn't consider, Bergie, when I was making my pick of Florida State, I didn't consider the want-to factor. And I really think the Clemson football team, not saying they wanted it more, I'm just saying they really wanted it. They wanted that game, and I didn't factor in night in the Valley. Always tough to beat even your most average of Clemson teams in that setting, great setting. The fans turned out for Clemson. I think the place was pretty much full. A lot of pageantry, beautiful weather, and they came out and played a clean football game. Only 2 penalties, maybe only one that should have counted, and no turnovers. They forced a crucial turnover. Florida State hurt itself with penalties, dropped passes, missed opportunities. So it all went Clemson's way against Florida State. So it's Mike Norvell under the guillotine this week. It's his what?
It's not guillotine, it's guillotine.
Okay, thank you, freshman. It's Mike Norvell under the guillotine.
Guillotine, okay.
His neck is under the knife of the guillotine in the gallows. Anyway, he wasn't. I don't even think the Florida State bus got back to campus before they were already posting the time that the assistant coaches were having their Sunday meeting, and would Norvell show up for that? I mean, it's just interesting. It's just out of control. It's out of control from that standpoint. But from a Clemson standpoint, they got a very nice win. Now, does that solve everything for them? We shall see. Was this just a little bit of a bandage, a Band-Aid on a big wound, or are they actually going to turn things around with that performance? That performance was, I thought, Bergie, good enough to win a lot of their games. Klubnik was very sharp, still playing on a bit of a bad ankle, but he threw the ball well. His receivers, by and large, caught the ball. Antonio Williams had some plays. They didn't run it. It's a little bit deceiving. They didn't run it for a lot of yardage, but they ran it when they needed to run it. And they ran it well enough to where you had to respect the run, and that helped with the passing game. So generally speaking, I thought it was a pretty good all-around performance by the Tigers.
Yeah, I just got to catch a little bit of that on the way home Saturday after the Coastal game, and I was impressed. I was surprised that Dabo didn't listen to me. Why go for 2 on the opening score? But nonetheless, it worked for them.
Yeah.
Didn't work for Beamer a couple of weeks back, but I didn't quite get that. But aside from that, probably their best in terms of a win, maybe their best overall performance this year. Don't you think?
I would say so. Again, a very clean. No turnovers, a very few penalties. They did a good job not allowing Florida State to have the real big play. Now, they were fortunate because there were a couple of passes down the field. One was overthrown, one was dropped that could have turned into big plays. And Florida State did have some short passes that their receivers had yards after the catch. But as far as, Clemson's issue has been receivers getting behind them and making big catches for touchdowns. That didn't happen. Though, again, full disclosure, there was one play where receiver was behind the secondary. If the ball had not been overthrown, it would have been 6 probably. And then you had another one to the tight end that was about a medium distance play that he dropped that could have sustained a Florida State drive. So they caught a couple of breaks that way, but sometimes, you know what? Better to be lucky than good and to catch a couple of breaks that work your way. So Tigers put it in the win column, and now they get ready to go up to Louisville. Louisville was stunned at home in overtime by California. They're really, without their top running back, Isaac Brown, it really hurts their offense. I don't know that he's going to be able to play against Clemson Friday night. They're not talking like he's going to be able to play. And so they rely more on their passing game. And they have Miller Moss as their quarterback, and he got off to a very good start this year. He sort of tailed off. Their passing numbers have dropped off here the last few weeks. So I'm sure Jeff Brom and company will be looking at this as a great opportunity for them to get a big win over a program like Clemson and kind of resurrect their season after taking that tough loss, because they were really thinking about winning the ACC championship until Saturday.
And going back to Clemson for just a second, Phil, it's something we touched on with Will Merritt on Thursday when we were chatting about how porous the secondary play has been for the Tigers. And I asked Will, can it help, though, to get a pass rush? And I think Clemson finally unleashed the pass rush with 6 sacks on Saturday night. And that's something that we've been expecting them to do all season long. So now you get a little momentum. You go to Louisville on this short week, weird week with the game on Friday night. But if the Tigers win out, speculate. I think, they're going to be an underdog. I'll be curious to see if that line changes as the week moves along. But right now, at least last I saw, they're going to be an underdog for the first time this season on Friday night against Louisville. If they were to win out and then win their bowl game, Dabo was talking this past week about how he's got to go back to the basics and trust his instincts, and sort of made mention without actually saying it that he's going to make overhaul changes inside the coaching staff. Will he do that if they win out?
Yeah.
Will he need to do that if they win out?
If you're a Clemson fan, that's sort of the catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a Clemson fan mad about everything, you want changes. And the best way to ensure changes would be for losses to occur. But if you win out and do what you suggested, win out and go win a bowl game, have a hot finish with a winning streak, I mean, does that deter Dabo Swinney from making any changes? Because, hey, things are okay. We kind of got things sorted out here. We're going to build on this and carry this over to next season. And status quo, and it's good to have people in place and to build on that continuity. And, will that be the thinking there? Or has he already made up his mind that regardless of what happens the rest of the way, he's going to make some changes?
Well, and the curious thing, too, and this is for Clemson and every other team that's not in the college football playoff this year, how much can you actually judge a bowl performance? Because let's face it, Clemson, if they get into a bowl game, the majority of guys that you saw on Saturday against Florida State are probably not going to be playing in whatever bowl game it is. And that I would assume is going to be the quarterback as well. I can't imagine Kate Klubnik's going to play in the Cheez-It Bowl, as he gets ready to go to the NFL.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That's going to be interesting to see what kind of team you can put on the field when it comes to that kind of a bowl game, I mean, culture's culture. Dabo Swinney has leaned on his culture over all these years, but players who are headed off to the NFL or headed to another team don't want to wait around for a lousy, meaningless bowl game.
Exactly.
So we're going to see. This will be a test. This will be a true test for them because last year they did have the playoffs, and then the previous years where they weren't in the playoffs, they had pretty good bowl games. There was the Pop-Tart Bowl one year, I think it was. That's not a bad bowl. It's in Orlando. But, I mean, for the most part, they've been in pretty good bowl games that would keep players interested. And the players also were bought in to the point where it's like, okay, let's all stay together. Let's come back next year and make another run at it.
Right.
So they haven't really had the major departures in the seasons where they haven't made. This will be made the playoffs. This will be a big test for that culture to see how many guys who can come back decide to hang in there. Meantime, you got the hottest team in the state, I guess we could say, because PC now has lost twice. Benedict won, so they've only got one loss. They're going to play for the championship. Newberry won the SAC. Another thrilling finish for Todd Knight. He's going to join us tonight at about 7:40, 7:45 when we have Zach Willis with us. Two championship-winning coaches from Newberry on the same program. I don't know if the state can handle that.
I'm not sure I can handle that.
We're going to throw it at you. But they won. South Carolina State continues to win. They're the front runner for the MEAC, so they're going well. Allen won. They're going to have some kind of a postseason game, according to their website. I'm not sure what game that's going to be, but they wrote that they're going to have a postseason game. And then there's Coastal Carolina that all of a sudden just keeps on winning. Now, are the Chanticleers just playing that much better? Your quarterback had a really nice game.
Yes.
Are they playing that much better, or are they just playing competition that they can handle now?
It's a good question. I guess we'll find that out the final 2 weeks of the regular season with the road trip to South Carolina, home game against James Madison. And this weekend will be a good test for them, too, at Georgia Southern. But I think they've actually kind of figured it out, and it started on their offense. Their defense was good early in the season. It just sort of got lost in the fact they couldn't score enough points, and so the defense had to keep running out there and try and stop them, and they were turning the ball over way too much. You'll remember early in the season, Phil, they were last in the country in turnover margin. Now they're almost back to even. Overall, they've worked themselves back, and of course it helps when you force 5 turnovers in one game the way they did against Marshall. But Saturday had to be the weirdest game I think I've ever seen. 2 consecutive, perfectly executed onside kick recoveries, and then we had a streaker on the field.
Oh, really?
And
I missed that part.
And I don't think that has ever happened to and I asked Lane Harris, who's been around Coastal football ever since its inception. He couldn't remember it. I don't think we've ever had a streaker come on the field. Now, in full disclosure, the young man was actually wearing shorts, so he wasn't totally naked running around the field. But he comes out of the...
Hang on. By definition, if you're wearing shorts, are you still a streaker?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just a runner.
I mean, maybe you're just a hooligan.
Someone got on the field.
Go ahead, Plummer.
By definition, a streaker is a person who runs naked in a public place, especially in order to shock or amuse others.
Yeah, well, I'm sure
he definitely amused others. Yeah. There's no question, because
by definition, that's not streaking.
Not streaking.
He chickened out. He chickened out.
He was just running. So he comes out of the student section, and those of you, and Phil, you know this, if you've ever been to Brooks Stadium, the student section is on the same side of the field as the field house. And so I think it was Georgia State that had the football, and they were going away from the field house towards the scoreboard and the brand new indoor practice facility. So it was to everybody's back of the offense. And all of a sudden I hear Lane say, "Hey, we've got a streaker on the field." I was like, what? And I look down, and they've obviously stopped play at this point because he's at about the 15-yard line. Oh. He runs towards the Coastal sideline and runs all the way down the Coastal sideline behind the Coastal defense, which is on the field. And then he makes a loop around at about the 15-yard line and starts coming back up the Georgia State sideline towards midfield. And that's about the time security got to him and just pile-drived him into the turf at about the 35. So he gets taken off the field. But yeah, that was one of the more entertaining moments of Saturday night, to go along with, to the Panthers' credit, and Georgia State's not a very good football team, but to work back-to-back onside kick recoveries. I'm not sure I've ever seen that in a football game.
No, that doesn't happen very often. All right, well, they continue to win, so that's good. They've clinched a bowl. You just don't want to – nothing wrong with the Myrtle Beach Bowl, but if you're Coastal Carolina, having gone there last season, I mean, come on, ESPN and decision makers, put Coastal somewhere else. There's got to be somewhere else you got to go to. Yeah.
I mean, half the team last year did not want to play in that game, so they opted out. So, yeah, I think you can find somebody else in the Sun Belt or the American or the MAC that would enjoy coming down to Myrtle Beach for Christmas time.
How well is your quarterback playing?
Samari's playing about as well as anybody right now. I mean, he's got an offense behind him that they rushed for 300-plus yards. First time in 4 years that Coastal's rushed for over 300 yards. There's an award out there, the Earl Campbell, the Tyler Rose Award that they give weekly, and it's awarded to a player in college football that's got ties to the state of Texas that has a really good weekend. He's been honorable mention the past 2 weeks, and I'll be curious to see if he's not the winner, or at least honorable mention again this week. So, yeah, Samari's playing extremely well. He's not going to light it up passing-wise, but the first play from scrimmage on Saturday for Coastal after they got a stop from Georgia State, he took 85 yards to the house for a touchdown, sort of set the tone.
All right, South Carolina, of course, open week. We'll hear from Shane Beamer tomorrow at his press conference. The Gamecocks 18.5-point underdogs to Texas A&M. Texas A&M went into Missouri, beat Missouri on the road. Missouri playing with a freshman quarterback who didn't have a great day throwing the football. I think he was like 9 of 22, Zoller. So they did a good job against him. Now, one thing that you could tell, Missouri hit Texas A&M right up the middle with some runs with Hardy. So South Carolina may have to figure out if they can get some of the running game going. And if A&M has any kind of a little weakness on defense, you would point to that. Their pass rush is outstanding. Howell, their defensive end, was defensive player of the week in the SEC, defensive lineman of the week in the SEC. He's among the nation's leaders in sacks. That team is among the nation's leaders in sacks, and they've got explosive players. Concepcion, the wide receiver. They have big-time punt returner. They're just and, of course, their quarterback, Reed, is exceptional. He's really grown up. And they've got revenge on the mind as well after South Carolina beat them in Columbia last year. So Gamecocks are going to have to rise up and play way, way above themselves. They're going to have a chance to win this game at Texas A&M with a brand-new play caller, Mike Furry, handling the play calling for the Gamecocks now moving forward, which takes us to our poll question of the week, which is brought to you by Larry Lucas State Farm Insurance in Columbia and Lexington. Be sure to call Larry at 803-799-1998 for all your insurance needs. USC averaged 19.7 under Mike Shula. Mike Furry is the new play caller. What do you expect the average to be now? 30 or more, 25 to 30, 20 to 25, or no change. 50%, no change. 22.2%, 20 to 25. 16.7, 25 to 30. And 11.1 believe the Gamecocks will now score 30 points or more on average their last 3 games. So keep in mind, after A&M, you got Coastal and you got Clemson. Now, before Gamecock fans just shrug off Coastal, and you will, and if Coastal goes down and beats Georgia Southern, which they can, I mean, you're talking about a team that's going to come into Columbia feeling pretty good about itself. And now, how will Coastal Carolina approach that game? Will he play his guys, knowing he's got James Madison coming up the next week? Will he sacrifice that game? Will they really go hard after trying to win that game and play their frontline guys?
I've kind of joked about this before, and Lane and I have had this discussion sort of off air. I mean, what do you do? You'll remember several years ago when the Gamecocks actually hosted Coastal right at the end of the season, and Joe Moglia was the head coach at that point in time, and Coastal was FCS at level, and Joe said, look, I'm not playing any of my guys. And it got out of hand. It was like 70 to 10. And part of the reason was he knew he had bigger fish to fry. I mean, beating South Carolina would have been huge, obviously. But he was thinking, we've got a chance to win a national championship, and if I get some of my guys hurt in this game, which outside of the money is kind of meaningless, I don't want that to happen. Little different here because you're not dealing with the FCS playoffs. You're both FBS. Plus, your athletics director, your boss, has worked at South Carolina for many, many years before coming over to take the job at Coastal. So he may put a little, hey, make sure, Coach Beck, I know we've got James Madison next week, but let's make sure Samari's out there and we give them as good a game as we possibly can.
Well, I mean, listen, if South Carolina gets bludgeoned by A&M and it's turmoil around South Carolina next week, and you come off a win over Georgia Southern and you're feeling pretty good, why wouldn't you try and come in and play your best football and see if you can get them distracted and get them while you can, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's the ultimate trap game for the Gamecocks, especially if they lose this weekend to Texas A&M. They'll virtually have nothing to play for except the Clemson game. That'll be their bowl game. So how will the players, how will the coaching staff, and on top of all of that, how will the fans treat the Coastal game? Because Coastal is going to be in a much, much better position going into that game, regardless of what happens this weekend for the Gamecocks. They're going to be in much, much better position, I think. Now, if the Gamecocks go out and beat Texas A&M, obviously it changes the narrative quite a bit. I just don't see a way that USC can beat Texas A&M because the one thing you could do, as you pointed out, and that's what Missouri tried to do, you can run the football on the Aggies. Problem is Carolina can't run the football on anybody.
No. The other thing is it's going to be an 11 o'clock kickoff time out there. And you know how I feel about those early kickoffs. Yeah, usually helps the road team, you think. Maybe catch them napping. But the fact that they lost in Columbia under the lights on national TV and all that last year, I think they'll have the Gamecocks will be fully on their minds. Be right back.
It might be tough to picture your kid in college today, but it'll be here before you know it. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving right now. You can start with any amount. Savings grow tax-free, and friends and family can chip in too. Discover the smart, easy way to save today at FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller-Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
This is Perry Orth, former South Carolina quarterback. On the field, my job was simple. Read the defense, protect the ball, and give my team the best chance to win. Off the field, at Moultrie Insurance, our job is no different. Help protect your business from the risks that you don't see coming, so you can focus on moving the ball forward. Just like a good quarterback, we anticipate challenges, call the right plays, and keep you protected. Trust Moultrie Insurance to cover your blind side and keep your business in the game. Visit MoultrieINS.com today.
The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Touchstone Energy cooperative members save more on electricity, and members save more on insurance, groceries, healthcare, restaurants, travel, concerts, and sporting events through Co-op Connections. Touchstone Energy is an alliance of the member-owned electric cooperatives, and as a member, the power is yours. Experience the power of co-op membership with Touchstone Energy and find out how much you can save on electricity and a whole lot more at touchstoneenergy.com.
All right, if you want to join us, get your thoughts, 888-898-2525. Text message is 803-900-4847. Quick thought on South Carolina and their new offensive coordinator. Been thinking about this from over the weekend. If I were Shane Beamer, Bergie, and I'm saying this from the standpoint of familiar with the work. It's always easier if you're familiar with the work. If I'm him, I'm reaching out to Chad Morris. And I'll tell you why. Shane Beamer needs an older head. And I know he's getting older. He's going to be like 48. But he's still very young as a head coach. He needs an older head. He doesn't need a young guy that he can boss around. He needs a guy, an older head with an offense. Because Shane Beamer doesn't have an offense. He didn't come in as a head coach with an offense or a defense. He needs somebody with some identity. What did Dabo Swinney do when he hired Chad Morris from Tulsa? Tulsa was setting the world on fire with that offense. He almost hired Justin Fuentes. It was those two, Justin Fuentes, Chad Morris. He went with Chad Morris. Left him alone, told him to go find a quarterback. What he'd do, he camped out in Gainesville, Georgia, and he got Deshaun Watson. Rest is history. That got it rolling. Now, you hire a guy like Chad Morris and you say, you take the offense, it's yours. Go recruit who fits your offense. Sort of like G.A. Mangus. Steve Spurrier had G.A. Mangus as sort of the offensive coordinator, though we know who the offensive coordinator was. But he went out and recruited the quarterbacks. And he found Connor Shaw, who fit exactly what they were doing with their offense. And the rest, as they say, is history. Chad Morris is not coaching. He left Texas State to go watch his son play at Virginia. Probably wouldn't break the bank to get him. You don't have to pay off another school. I think there's a lot of reasons to think that way. And we'll be back.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear and chilly this evening. Our first freeze with a low temperature dipping down to 27. Tomorrow, very breezy, chilly, but a day filled with sunshine for Veterans Day. The high reaching just 50 degrees. The rest of the week looks wonderful. Sunshine all the way into the weekend. We're warming up. The highs Wednesday and Thursday into the 60s and onto the 70s for Friday and Saturday and Sunday. No rain scheduled till maybe Sunday. I'm Cal Walsh with your On Point local weather.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
Appear with SRN News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The Senate is drawing closer to a vote on legislation to end the government shutdown. Senators began debate on the bill just as nightfall descended in Washington. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he hopes passage will take hours, not days. The legislation would still need to clear the House before the government could reopen. The bill would fund the government through the end of January and reverse mass firings of federal workers. It also protects federal workers against further layoffs through January and guarantees they are paid once the shutdown is over. A good day on Wall Street as the shutdown appears to be ending. The Dow up by 381 points. The Nasdaq rose 522, with the S&P 500 up by 103. This is SRN News.
I don't know too many folks out there who love paying taxes, but what about getting tax credits? That's appealing, right? My buddy Ken at Broker Solar is in the tax credit business. How would you like a solar battery that helps do two things? First, it serves as an instant generator the moment the power cuts out, and it doesn't even require gasoline. Secondly, it lets you take some control back from the power companies. Yeah, you can use solar power during the peak hours when your power company wants to charge you the most. Oh, and that tax credit on solar batteries, you can get a 30% tax credit right now. This is a phenomenal time to reach out to Ken. He'll come out to your home or your business. He'll give you a comprehensive free estimate, answer any questions. Solar isn't free, but you need to take advantage of those credits when they do come around. Call Ken right now. Save on a solar-powered battery. Online, find him at brokersolar.com or just call Ken, 807-7417. That's 807-7417, Broker Solar.
Hey y'all, my name's Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. With the holidays approaching, people are looking for places to hold large parties. Flight Deck Restaurant has what you need. We have 4 different rooms that can accommodate groups from 12 all the way to 120 people. As long as you eat dinner with us, Flight Deck does not charge a rental fee for the room. Flight Deck Restaurant can accommodate wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, Christmas parties, birthday parties, anniversary parties, civic organizations that need to have a regular place to meet. Flight Deck Restaurant is a full-service restaurant and we can provide audio-visual equipment. Please consider Flight Deck Restaurant in Lexington. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Experience the difference local craftsmanship makes at Best Mattress, serving the Midlands as a family-owned business for 97 years. West Columbia, Divine Street, or our stunning newest Lexington showroom right near the amphitheater. Discover mattresses handcrafted right here. No offshore shortcuts. Our specialists guide you to your perfect fit with a custom comfort test, and you'll be surprised just how affordable quality and durability can be. Enjoy a 90-day comfort warranty and white glove delivery. Visit bestmattress.net. Sleep local. Sleep better. Best Mattress.
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
This fall, discover a place where friendly faces greet you at the door. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington. Greg Lynette and their welcoming team make every visit a breeze with expert advice and genuine hometown care. No more endless aisles or big box blues, just quality products and people who want to know your name. For every project, big or small, find what you need and a neighborly smile at 2028 Augusta Highway. Shop local. Shop happy. McCoy's Hardware of Lexington.
Now, this is kind of like my Sunday because the Packers are playing tonight. So it's a Sunday on a Monday, and it's Packer weather. 24 degrees in Green Bay tonight, 20-mile-an-hour gusts. It's going to be Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley weather.
Well, it's Josh Jacobs' weather.
Going to find out. This will be an interesting test for both these teams because it looks like the Rams are starting to establish themselves as maybe the best team in the NFC. Is it still Philadelphia? Is it Green Bay? Is it Minnesota? Is it Detroit? Who is it? The NFC playoffs, I think, are starting to line up that they could be really good, sort of like the AFC playoffs.
Yeah. Well, should be a lot of fun. Of course, the Panthers return to earth. losing to the Saints at home, just when you think maybe they're turning the corner. Not only did they lose, they got, kind of dominated. I mean, they didn't do anything offensively.
This is what it's like to be a Panthers fan, Phil. You get all excited about them going into Green Bay and winning a game they had no business winning at Green Bay. Then they come back home, and you would think, all right, they've got momentum. Bryce Young's playing better. They've got Rico Dowdle, who's been outstanding since they finally realized, okay, he's the better running back of the two. Let's give him the football. And then they come out and lay an absolute egg against the miserable Saints. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I was somewhat amused by that and ticked off. But then again, in some warped way, they may have done the Packers a favor by beating them at Lambeau ahead of this Eagles game. Though I don't ever like to lose, sometimes it wakes you up, and your next game against a superior opponent, which the Eagles are, will lead you to play a sharper game. All right, the phone number is 888-898-2525. If you want to join us, lines are open. You can also shoot us a text message at 803-900-4847. If not, we got plenty to talk about. We got First and 10 with Zach Willis coming up at 7:35. And Coach Todd Knight will be the special guest as he talks about winning another South Atlantic Conference championship in thrilling fashion. I tell you, they have lived life dangerously on the edge at Newberry, but they find a way. They have found a way to get it done. And Reed Sharpe has had when you talk about players of the year in South Carolina, Reed Sharpe has got to get a heck of a lot of attention with what he's done with Newberry. So we'll talk about that with the coaches when they join us at 7:35. I want to go back to what I was talking about with Chad Morris and why I think that would be a good idea. Again, veteran guy, but not that old, has an offense that is highly effective, knows what he's looking for, plug and place, and can go out and recruit who he needs to come run his offense and find that piece and plug them in. And, you get the right people with the right offense and the right leadership, you take off. Now, that would be the person who I would, because I'm familiar with and know his work, that would be my choice. It could be somebody else similar to him, but I would definitely go with the older noggin if I'm Shane Beamer, considering that if this season continues down the tubes, which, lose to Texas A&M and you're out of a bowl game and then lose to Clemson, and that's a double whammy there. And I would have to say, after watching Clemson, and we'll see how they do against Louisville, because that's going to be another stern test for them. But their offense looked, and Cade Klubnik looked really good. Cade Klubnik played under control with poise. Florida State couldn't speed him up. You want to speed up a quarterback, force him into mistakes. They never really could to get him out of his comfort zone the other night. So he threw some really good balls. He had one pass where he threw from the right hash all the way across the field on a laser right into the receiver's hands.
That's a touchdown to Williams?
No, it was an earlier pass.
Oh, okay.
It was an earlier pass where had the cornerback maybe been looking, and he could have broken on it and had himself a pick six, but he didn't. But the point is, an across-the-field pass like that, you've got to have an incredibly strong arm.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And he put it right on the money. Do you think Beamer would look at a guy like Chad Morris?
It's curious, and maybe not just Chad Morris, but I like your premise of an older head in the locker room. And I started thinking about this during the break, and it reminds me of when Pete Limbo was on staff. He was, in terms of, he's my age, but to Beamer, he's an older guy. And I think Beamer needed somebody like that it would, on occasion, when he's about to go for 2 points, maybe would tell him this is not a smart decision. I think he needs somebody that he respects that will actually say on occasion, and maybe he's got people over there that do that now. I don't know. I'm obviously not inside that locker room. But I got the sense that Pete Limbo was one of those guys he would lean on for advice, even though he coached the special teams. I think he had enough respect for him, the whole organization and everything, all the working pieces of football program. And I think, Chad Morris makes a lot of sense in that regard, or someone unlike Chad Morris. But I'll use the same analogy here that I did with Clemson just a moment ago. If Clemson were to win out, what do you do with the staff? If Mike Fury turns the offense around and maybe they don't beat Texas A&M, but they look competitive, beat Coastal, and then maybe beat Clemson to finish off the season, and they're rolling up 400 yards of offense, do you not promote him? I mean, would Mike Furry not have earned the right to be the OC moving forward?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Really, the test will be the A&M game, and not taking anything away from Coastal, but even if it goes well against Coastal, people are going to say, well, it should. It's going to be Clemson and it's going to be A&M that's going to be the test there, so we'll see what happens. And the other thing, again, away from the coaching aspect and the knowledge and having an offense, is the fact that he's available now, and you don't have to buy him out from another school. And, I mean, I don't know what his financial desires would be. I don't think you'd have to break the bank for him as you would if you were going after a big-name, currently employed offensive coordinator. Now, you can go for a younger, currently employed offensive coordinator and – like Bell at Pittsburgh, who we first talked about a couple of weeks ago, and you might get him on a little bit of a on the cheap side, But I think in Chad Morris's case, I mean, you can go ahead and if you were to move on him, you could bring him in at any time and get him rolling, get him started. Go ahead and evaluating quarterbacks, making phone calls, getting out and seeing people. I mean, just again, that's just me thinking about who would be a really, really good hire, considering all the circumstances that Shane Beamer will be facing at South Carolina. Who would be a really, really good hire? Because, again, when Dabo Swinney hired Chad Morris, he had fired Billy Napier. That was the offensive coordinator prior to, and it was ugly. And he didn't need another young guy to come in and try and invent something. He needed something established. And again, he was looking at Fuentes and he was looking at Morris, and he went the way of Morris. And you don't think he's happy he went that way? Even though Dabo Swinney would not call it the Chad Morris offense, he called it the Clemson offense.
Right.
Because whenever you referred to it as the Chad Morris offense, he kind of, no, it's the Clemson offense. Okay, fine. Call it what you want. Chad Morris brought it, operated it. And who is he? And who is Chad Morris a disciple of? Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
See, they were high school coaches in Arkansas back in the day, and they were developing their offenses. I think it was Malzahn, and Chad Morris learned from him, and he took it and made his version of it. And both have been really, really successful in running their particular offenses.
Well, I think, too, Phil, one thing you have to be able to do if you're an offensive coordinator, you have an identity. You have exactly what you want to do, i.e. the Chad Morris offense. He knew exactly what he wanted to do and was able to go out and recruit the players. And certainly Deshaun Watson could probably run any offense, but it certainly didn't hurt that he was the guy to engineer that offense. I'll use Drew Hollingshead, the offense coordinator at Coastal, as a really good example. When he was brought in by Tim Beck knew what he wanted to do was run the air raid offense. And they had the guy in quarterback in Emmett Brown. That's who they were going to use to run the air raid. It was going to look just like Texas Tech under Mike Leach or Mississippi State under Mike Leach. That's what they were going to do. Well, Emmett Brown goes down in preseason camp, and you're like, oh, goodness, now what do we do? So they worked through a couple of quarterbacks, and they've gotten to Samari Collier, who's got a very good arm and can throw it down the field and get the quick passes out. But the one thing Samari excels in is running the football. And now Coastal has developed that identity. Yeah, Tim Beck will tell you, because I've asked him point blank, are you guys a running team? And he said, no, we're still an air raid attack. But, yeah, we've put our guys in a position to do what they do well. And Samari Collier running the football is what they do well. And I think that's a hallmark of a really good offensive coordinator, is a guy who can adapt if necessary. And I think Chad Morris did that. And I think that's what we're seeing at Coastal right now with Drew Hollingshead. What
happens with the quarterback situation in the offseason with Brown getting healthy and assuming he returns? What happens there?
I chuckle because, especially at a place like Coastal, how many of those guys are going to be back? That's the first thing you have to figure out is if Emmett Brown comes back, and Samari Collier, I think, probably is done. But the situation with Samari is he has played junior college football. So, and he was on that Hutchinson Community College program that's just the Alabama of junior college football, and has won national championships at the Wazoo. and he's been really good there. So the question is, when he comes back, can he come back? And if he does, you're right. Would he be the guy, or would Emmett Brown be the guy, or would it be somebody who's playing in high school right now? Who knows?
All right, 888-898-2525. By the way, recruiting news breaking just a few minutes ago. South Carolina women, who will be hosting Clemson tomorrow night, got a commitment this evening, from 6'2", Kaylee Wynn. She's out of Santa Clara, California. Came down to South Carolina and Stanford for her, and she is one of the elite senior high school girls players in the country from Mater Dei out in California, and she has committed now to South Carolina, a big 6'2", large-bodied individual there who has apparently a lot of skills. So nice recruiting victory for Dawn Staley and the USC women. They pick up another national recruit to join the program. Let's go to Vern in Bishopville. Get the calls rolling on this Manic Monday. Vern, welcome in. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you and stuff. How y'all doing? But anyway, that Morris guy must be some kin to you, Mr. Cohen Blue. You want Carolina to hire him and stuff like that. Clemson got rid of him for a good reason. He might be washed up. And stuff
no, Clemson
like
didn't get rid. Clemson didn't get rid of him. He left for a head coaching job.
He left for a head coaching job.
Yeah,
he still got it.
Yeah, he left. He left Clemson for SMU. Let's see. He went from. Let me think now. He went from Clemson to SMU. Is that right? Clemson to SMU, and then SMU to where did he?
Arkansas.
Well, anyway,
then SMU to Arkansas. Yeah. And now Arkansas, it didn't go well. I don't know that they gave him a full opportunity there, but it didn't go well for him at Arkansas. But no, he did.
Well,
he left to go become a head coach.
Oh, okay, then we can just let that rest. But anyway, that new guy at USC, the athletic director, what's his name? Jeremiah?
Jeremiah Donati. Jeremiah Donati.
Well, when he can stand up and get rid of Beamer, when he can stand up and get rid of Paris, when he can stand up and get rid of the baseball coach, Paneri, Grandpa, when he can do that, to really make a mark for the University of South Carolina.
Why you want to get rid of? Why you want to get rid of Lamont Paris? They're 2-0.
Get rid of him? Well, what did he do last year? How many games he won last year? 11.
Well, last year was last year. He's fixed it. They got a much better team. They got a much. If you like 3-point shooting, you're going to like the Gamecocks.
They're Boston Celtics of college ball.
You need a big guy in the middle. I watched the game last night. I didn't watch all of them. I watched the game last night. Oh, why is Josh Butler sitting on the bench and stuff and trying to battle against that 6'11" guy from what it was from the other team with the yellow on? Why was he sitting on the bench? So, but anyway, I just saying, that's what he needs to do if he would be the athletic director.
Yeah,
he's getting paid enough money to see he can't make it with those three coaches with men's sports. He can't make it with them. But y'all be blessed. That is something I just pass it on because I always tell the truth.
Thank you. Thank you, Vern. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Now, last night, again, I was at that game, and Gamecocks love to shoot the three. I don't think Paris was I think they shot it more than he really would like them to. But you know what? When you come out and you make 10 of your first 13, and most of those are threes, you know what happens. It's habit forming, and they just kept shooting threes, and they went very cold. At one stretch, they missed 10 straight shots of all kinds, mostly threes. And then they had another stretch, they missed 6 in a row. So that allowed Southern Miss, which was playing more of a conventional style of basketball, attacking the rim, hitting the boards, occasionally shooting a three, and they have a very good team as well. And they chopped away, and eventually passed the Gamecocks and built a 9-point lead. And they could have caved. South Carolina could have caved. But they hit a couple threes again, got a 3-point play, called up, and then got a big 3-pointer from the corner by Studi. He had an interesting game. He hit his very first shot, which was a 3. Then he missed, I think it was the next 6 or 7 shots he missed. And then he took his last shot, which was a 3 from the corner, and it was Splash.
His biggest shot of the game.
Yeah, and it gave them a 4-point lead, and they were able to go on to win. So, I mean, they are, let's see, I looked this up this afternoon. The Gamecocks are second. Let me find the stat here. And, of course, it's only after 2 games, so it's got a long way to go. But I think we can certainly understand that the Gamecocks are going to want to shoot the 3. They got players that want to shoot the 3. And in Eli Ellis, you got a guy who can flat out shoot the 3. And Michie Johnson, you got a guy who can flat out shoot the 3. I mean, they're going to go through some slumps in there shooting, as you will any time when you lean heavily on the 3 ball. But right now, they love the 3-point shot, and I can't find my stat, but I think they're like second in the country in attempts so far after 2 games, and like third in 3-point shots made, something like that. They're way up there. So I got to find it here somewhere in my notes. I'll do that during the break and report back to you. Thank you, Vern. Appreciate the phone call. And the phone number is 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. Even though it's chilly outside, it's never too cold to go to the beach. So get on that horn and give Jimmy Smith a call at James Smith Real Estate, Paulie's Vacation Rentals.com, 843-237-4246 for your perfect beach getaway. Paulie's Vacation Rentals.com, James Smith Real Estate.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. Whether you're on the water or going hunting on land, always tell someone where you're going. Be specific and tell them when you plan to return. Plan your hunt and hunt your plan. For more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
Download the free Go Outdoors SC app from SCDNR, buy licenses, report harvests, and carry everything digitally right on your phone. Go Outdoors SC.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been handling claims and cases for individuals and small businesses. I've now been a mediator for more than 10 years. Let me put that experience to work for you. Like if you're injured in a wreck or on the job or at someone else's place, anytime you should get reimbursed or compensated. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968 or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett to settle your claims, avoid a lawsuit, or go to trial.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
All right, so after 2 games, Clemson is 4th nationally in points allowed per game, 48.5, 2nd in turnovers per game, and 2nd in assist to turnover ratio. They've been great in that area. I embellished on the Gamecocks a little bit. They are 6th in three-pointers made per game, 8th in attempts. You know who leads the nation in three-point attempts, Bergie, so far?
Is it the Citadel?
The Citadel at 42.5. You read my tweet.
Love it.
You read
no,
my tweet.
I was trying to help you out, and I was looking for the stat on NCAA stats, and I happened to run across how well they've been launching it from the outside so far.
Yeah. All right, got a lot more notes to give to you here in a little bit. Let's go to Andy in Columbia, next caller on this Manic Monday edition of Sports Talk. Andy, good to have you with us. How are you?
I'm doing great, fellas. I'm having Mongolian beef tonight in honor of the big Mongolian.
Yeah. He's a talent. He's got great talent. Really is.
I'm telling you, he's for some kid who's the first kid to ever come from Mongolia, he is impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got good size.
And talking about what's that?
He got good size. But I tell you one thing about this team.
Hands too.
And maybe it was the opponent, but I mean, I hope they got an inside game or inside presence somewhere, because when they start playing SEC teams with all their big bodies inside where it gets physical, they're going to have a hard time there. They start playing these stronger teams.
Got some length, though, Phil, but I don't know how they're going to play. Like you said, I don't know how they're going to play when it comes down to playing against real opponents. But I'll tell you one thing, and I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again. I don't care, Chris, if you think he made the biggest shot of the game, which he didn't. Studi is a waste. I mean, he does nothing. He made 2 shots. He made the first shot of the game, then he made that three-pointer. That three-pointer wouldn't have mattered if Michi didn't make those 2 three-pointers, one from the O in Carolina at towards the midcourt line, and one at the end of the Carolina at the midcourt line. Towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Michi was on fire at the end of the game. I'll tell you that right now.
He was great the entire game last night.
Yeah.
But he had like 15 or 17 of the last 19 points, at least 15 of the last 17 in the second half. I don't know how he stacked up in the overtime for total points, but I think he had 33 or 34 points.
Career high 33. He had a career high 33. He had a career-high 7 threes, and they set a school record with 43 three-point attempts. The previous record was 36.
And let's not forget about Ellis. This little 6-footer had 7 rebounds.
Oh, yeah. He's a ball player. He's a gym rat ball player, and I didn't know what to expect, from him when he came to South Carolina. I thought that maybe he was more hype than he was substance. So much internet attention to him. But you know what? He's proven me wrong in my own mind. I never said anything about it. I just thought this guy, he's just going to come over here and people aren't going to like him. He's going to be too bossy in the locker room. Give me the ball, that kind of stuff. No. Quite the opposite. Right. I've been very impressed with him from the little bit I've seen thus far.
Remember Marshall Henderson played at Ole Miss?
Mm-hmm.
And love to tell you how good he was. I'm not saying that's where Eli is, but he reminds me a lot of him with the ability that no moment is too big for him.
Yeah.
And even as a freshman, he's ready to step right in there.
And he doesn't mind coming off the bench and leading the second team instead of having to be on the first team.
No. Now, he gets his quality moments. He gets his big minutes as well. Okay, Andy, thank you. We got more to come after the top of the hour.
WQXL Columbia W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Same-sex marriage remains legal in the United States.
The Supreme Court has rejected a call to overturn its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices on Monday turned away an appeal from a former Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the Supreme Court's 2015 ruling. Clerk Kim Davis had been trying to get the justices to overturn a lower court order that she pay $360,000 in damages and attorney's fees. Justice Clarence Thomas has urged his colleagues to overturn the Supreme Court's marriage decision, much as they did in 2022 when the High Court overturned the right to abortion.
Correspondent Mike Pozzoli reporting. President Trump is threatening to sue the BBC over the way the network edited a speech he made. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
In a letter to Britain's public broadcaster, the president's lawyers said the BBC must retract its documentary by November 14th or face a lawsuit for no less than $1 billion. The network came under fire for cutting out a section of Donald Trump's speech on January 6, 2021, when he said he wanted supporters to demonstrate peacefully at the U.S. Capitol. Over the weekend, the head of the BBC and the news CEO both resigned, calling the edit an error of judgment. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Senate is drawing closer to a vote on legislation to end the government shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he hopes passage will take hours, not days. The legislation would still need to clear the House before the government could reopen. The bill would fund the government through the end of January and reverse mass firings of federal workers. On Wall Street, the Dow by 381 points. More at townhall.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Every day I speak with people who are worried and are feeling a lot of pressure because of credit card debt. That's why I'm very proud of what we do at Trinity. We just help. We give people the support they need, along with a real plan to become debt-free. Credit card bills are consolidated into a single monthly payment that is much less than what they were paying before. Most of our members end up saving thousands and even may improve their credit scores by as much as 200 points. I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm making a difference in the lives of the people we help. It just makes me really happy.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Julie, and I'm a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Near daily Israeli strikes continue over Lebanon almost a year after a U.S. brokered ceasefire went into effect. More from correspondent Neon Kim reporting.
An Israeli strike on Monday hit a car in southern Lebanon as near-daily strikes continue in the country. Emergency services cleared the wreckage of the burnt-out car in which at least one person was killed, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. The attack, just south of the coastal city of Sidon, comes almost a year after a U.S. brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah came into effect. Israel says its near-daily strikes have targeted Hezbollah officials and military infrastructure, while the Lebanese government that has backed disarming Hezbollah says the strikes have targeted civilians. I'm Neon Kim.
News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point weather on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear and chilly this evening, our first freeze, with a low temperature dipping down to 27. Tomorrow, very breezy, chilly, but a day filled with sunshine for Veterans Day, the high reaching just 50 degrees. The rest of the week looks wonderful. Sunshine all the way into the weekend. We're warming up, the highs Wednesday and Thursday into the 60s and onto the 70s for Friday and Saturday and Sunday. No rain scheduled till maybe Sunday. I'm Cal Malsh with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back. Manic Monday, coming off the Clemson win over Florida State. Looking ahead to South Carolina, Texas A&M, Clemson, and Louisville. Get your picks in. We had no winners. Hey! We had no winners once again, so Plumber, you can put that $15 back in your pocket. No winners once again for our free luncheon buffet at Seawells. But now you can start all over again. We have wiped the slate clean. Send in your picks for South Carolina, Texas A&M, Clemson, Louisville. Straight up, we're not doing spreads here. Straight up, if you hit it identical to the score, if it's exactly right, winner and scores, we'll take you out to lunch. But you people are over the season so far, so pick up your game. Pick up your game. Phone number 888-898-2525. Lines remain open if you want to join in. And text line number is 803-900-4847 from Eddie. He's got A&M 34, South Carolina 13, Clemson 24. Oh, I'm sorry. He's got Louisville 31, Clemson 24. Without Isaac Brown in the backfield at Louisville, I don't know if I like Louisville in this game right now, Berkey, the way Clemson played. And, you know, Clemson, when they get a little something going, they start feeling good about themselves again. They become an entirely different team.
Well, we thought that after their 2-game winning streak, didn't we? And then they kind of came back down to earth again.
Well, yeah, but I never bought into that because of the opponents.
Exactly who they were, and I guess you can make the same argument. I get it; the name on the jersey makes it sound like a bigger deal, but Florida State's not any good. I mean, they're better than North Carolina and Boston College, but not by much. Mm-hmm. This will be a massive test, I think, on the road for the Tigers, and they've still got to find a way to run the football. I mean, I'll go ahead and preview Wednesday night's commentary with Chuck Reedy. You'll ask him, what did you think about the offense? How much better did it look against Florida State? Well, they still can't run the ball.
Yep, they had less than 100. Mm-hmm. But am I wrong in my interpretation that, I think they had 91. They finished with 91 yards. They didn't run it for a lot, but they ran it effectively enough
they needed to
make Florida State respect the run?
I think that's probably fair. It was interesting, too. I mean, the Florida State outgained them in total offense, but the Tigers had almost 9 more minutes of possession time.
Well, you had the turnover. You had the turnover that cost Florida State. Looked like they were going to go in and score, and they had the mishandle of the handoff there. And they had some Florida State had their opportunities. I mean, they have no one to blame but themselves in this particular case. And but Clemson did a pretty good job with putting pressure on Castellanos. You mentioned the 6 sacks. Avion Terrell coming off the edge twice with corner blitzes led to sacks both times. He had a good game. So I think Clemson has some things they can build on here heading down the stretch coming off that victory. All right, this is another prediction here with a sermon attached. This is from the 352. No, I'm sorry. It's from the 843. What happened to the 352? This is from the 843. This is from Gary. So I'll take the Gamecocks as they pull off the biggest upset of the year in college football. Lenore Sellers will finally get going as they roll him out a lot with a run or pass option. Sellers will run more quarterback draws and throw more screens to keep the rushers honest. He will throw short, easy passes in space and let the speed players do their thing. They will play Vakari Swain on offense. Now, there you go. Now you're thinking outside the box.
That's an interesting idea.
They will play Vakari Swain on offense for about 15 plays, even though he plays defense. He played both ways in high school and produced 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns catching passes in his career. He also had 13 interceptions. Swain has proven that he is a playmaker with 3 punt returns for touchdowns. They will finally get their best player in space to make plays on offense. Nick Harbor is another player that will be thrown into short pass situations instead of so many bombs. Once he starts producing the short catches, it will open up the long ones. The defense will play another great game and only give up 3 scores. Final score, South Carolina 24 and Texas A&M 21 in a nail-biter. Okay, Gary, you went in.
Wow.
First of all, thank you for typing without typos. That made it easy to read. And secondly, that's extremely well thought out, like you're sitting in the offensive meeting rooms maybe, huh, Gary?
I will say this. I'll go ahead and make this prediction. If Texas A&M only scores 21 points on Saturday, Carolina will win that football game.
21's the magic number.
No, I'm just saying if South Carolina magically holds Texas A&M to 21 points, I don't see any way they lose that game.
Well, that means
But
they've
I
got
don't see them holding them to 21 points.
But what makes you think they can score 22?
Well, that's I think if that's the case, A&M has turned it over a couple of times. Heck, Marcel Reed may have thrown a pick six. I mean, there are going to be some things that give the Gamecocks enough of a short field that they can punch it in a few times. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, what would give me belief, because we haven't seen it all year, that they could get over 20 points. But I just think if that defense goes out there and plays that well against a team I believe is the best team in the country and holds them to 21 points, that would be remarkable.
18.5-point underdog is that's a slap in the face.
That's a lot in conference play.
I mean, that's a slap in the face. You have to go back and look, which I did. I mean, a few years ago, Florida was a 20-point favorite against South Carolina. Then there was another case, somebody was 25-point favorite, 18.5-point favorites. I might be tempted to take that when it comes down to making our picks. All right, this is from
then in my mind I'm going to see what they did to LSU at Baton Rouge. It's going to be hard to say, guys. I think Texas A&M can cover.
Then again, Texas A&M went into Alabama and gave Alabama a little bit of a tussle. That wasn't a mop-up, and I think maybe they're having a changing of the quarterback situation there at LSU too. All right, this is LG843? Phil, what potential coordinator would want the OC job at South Carolina knowing Beamer may be let go after next season with that tough 2026 schedule? Well, yeah. I mean, somebody who wants to move up from where they currently are, somebody who views the job as a step up from their current situation, someone who wants a raise in money based on what they're making now, someone who's unemployed who wants to get back into it. I mean, those are all some of the conditions I think you could look at to find somebody who'd want to come work for Beamer under those circumstances.
Well, and if that's the case, Phil, Shane Beamer will never hire an offensive coordinator. He'll never be able to find one, because if that's the reason you don't come, their schedule's not going to be any different in 27. It's not going to be any different in 28. It's not going to be any different in 20. I mean, if you're getting scared off because of the Gamecock schedule, then you weren't interested in coming to coach at USC to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What network will the Gamecocks game be on Saturday? Texas A&M game is going to be a noon kickoff here, 11 o'clock out there. It's on ESPN. By the way, the Furman game for South Carolina, SEC Network, and that's going to be a
Coastal game.
I'm sorry, Coastal game. Clemson plays Furman.
I'm planning on being over there next week. Now, I don't think I want to take Dan's spot in the visiting radio booth.
Yeah, I got both on my mind. So the South Carolina Coastal game is going to be was that 4:15?
4:15.
4:15 on the SEC Network. And the Clemson Furman game is going to be 4:45 on the CW. 4:45
really?
On the
4:45?
CW. Yeah, 4:45. Nope. I'm sorry, 4:30. My bad, 4:30. 4:30 on the CW for Clemson Furman, and 4:15 for South Carolina Coastal on the SEC Network. All right, what else do we have here? Let's see. Do I want to read this from Ray? LOL at Chad Morris coming to Columbia. He isn't that stupid. Well, he wouldn't be stupid. Not if he wants to get back into the SEC and coaching and having a chance to restart his coaching career. Bobby in Georgetown's got Louisville, 31-20. He's got South Carolina, 31-28. Okay, good luck with that. And from the 864, Ernie, Louisville, 31-27. and the plumber can still have my dessert. Ernie, you're not going to want to give up the dessert if you happen to get it right. You're going to want that dessert. The dessert is awesome.
Good stuff over there. Yeah.
All right, let me run through some other notes of the day. Of course, it's a Monday, so you got a lot of things going on in no particular order. We'll just run through these notes I've compiled. Brian Kelly's lawyers have told LSU he wants his full $53 million.
Of course he does.
He has rejected 2 separate settlement offers of $25 and $30. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
You expect
You'd be a fool.
You want to play Mr. Nice Guy? I mean, seriously, why would you do that? Former Clemson receiver Dakari Collins is now a backup receiver at Louisville. After 2 seasons at Clemson, he spent 2 seasons at NC State before transferring to Louisville. Say the name right for me.
Dakari Collins?
No, Louisville.
Oh, Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, it's not Louis. It's Louisville.
And it's not Ville, it's Vull.
It's Vull, exactly.
Vull.
Take the eyes out of there, much like Talladega. Take the eyes
Oh,
out
you're
of
wrong.
there.
It's
Louisville.
Talladega. This season,
All right, I'll be out near Talladega, and I'll ask the folks in Alabama this weekend.
He has 10 catches for 151 yards. Greer native Jaleel Skinner is the backup tight end after transferring from Miami. 15 catches, 152 yards, and a touchdown. And former Coastal Carolina defensive end Clev Lubin.
Yeah, we'd love to have him back.
He's a starting defensive end. 44 tackles, 6.5 for loss, and 4 sacks. Mike Elko, Texas A&M, said today what he sees in Lenore Sellers. He sees a kid that ran all over us last year. Our kids better see the same kid and understand the challenge and tackle him. On Armaj Reed Adams leaving the game in the first half Saturday, he's fine. On what he said after, let's see, he also said today, quote, I stood on the podium after the Florida game and said, hopefully, when we return to Kyle Field, we will return with a lot on the line. And now there is a lot on the line. The 12th man always shows up, and I know they'll show up even more this Saturday. About South Carolina, extremely talented group. They got a quarterback who can beat you arm and legs. They've got one of the most physically gifted wide receivers I've seen in my 30 years of college football. Every Saturday, you're at risk in this conference. We have to go play a really talented football team regardless of their record. It's the same team that beat us by 24 points and embarrassed us last year.
It's not the same team, unfortunately. It's the same school.
Yeah.
Same uniforms, but it's not the same team.
Also on the new offensive coordinator, quote, it's really challenging. It's a blank slate that they get a week to look at our defense and formulate a plan. They'll have a strong plan, so it will be a whirlwind early in the game to figure out where it's going. Louisville's doing a blackout against Clemson on Friday. Apparently there's still tickets available. So they're doing a blackout.
Of course they are.
They're doing a blackout. Of course, you know what Steve Spurrier used to say about blackouts, right?
Mm-hmm. That it was easier to see the football.
He loved them.
In the air.
Yeah. My receivers can see the football better. Wofford safety Maximus Pulley is the defensive player of the week in the SoCon. Had a pair of interceptions at VMI Saturday. One returned 50 yards for a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
And the name of the week in the SoCon every week.
Yes, no doubt. Georgia Southern place kicker Trip Bryant out of River Bluff is the Sun Belt Specialist of the Week. 4 of 5 on field goals of 21, 26, 23, and 24 yards. Conference Carolina's Offensive Player of the Week is North Greenville quarterback Dylan Ramirez, 375 yards and 4 touchdowns. Defensive Player of the Week is Hartsfield native linebacker Bailey Caraway of Barton, 6 tackles, 3 sacks. Let's see here. Texas A&M is 17th nationally in total offense at 460, 23rd in total defense at 317, 12th in scoring offense at 38, 57th in scoring defense at 23, 19th in rushing, 1st nationally in sacks, 4th in tackles for loss, 1st in tackles for loss allowed, 8th in sacks allowed. That means they're very good.
Right. Mm-hmm. On
Fifth,
both sides of the coin.
Fifth in punt returns. Marcel Reed is ninth in yards per completion. Casey Concepcion is fourth in punt returns. Cassius Howell is second in sacks. Louisville is 14th nationally in total defense at 297, 22nd against the run, 28th against the pass, 41st in scoring at 22 points per. Isaac Brown leads the nation in yards per carry at almost 9 yards a carry, 8.6, but he's hurt. Colin Lacey is third in punt returns at 23 yards per return. So South Carolina and Clemson have to be very careful when punting the football coming up, because they're going to be facing some dangerous return people. After suffering second loss of the season Saturday at Davidson, Presbyterians dropped out of the Stats Perform FCS Top 25, and South Carolina State received votes. And Samford fired their head coach over the weekend, Chris Hatcher, who was once one of the hottest coaches in FCS football. He's the winningest coach in school history. But he went to 3 playoffs, but 5-16 the last 2 years.
Whew.
And looks like we got some infighting in the Big Ten with Southern Cal and Michigan not happy that the Big Ten is looking to do this capital deal of $2.4 billion. They have given those schools until November 20th to come on board. What happens if they don't?
That's a good question.
Does that deal go through without those 2 big-time schools? That's the question.
I can't imagine it would. I mean, why would you want to invest in a conference in your 2 best commodities, or at least 2 of your 3 biggest commodities? I'd say Ohio State probably sticks up there with them, are not involved. I'm not sure I'd want to invest. That's a great question.
And you got UCLA now facing a lawsuit from the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they plan to go play at SoFi and leave the Rose Bowl. All right, let's run to the break and come back with recruiting tonight on this Manic Monday. And then we've got Zach Willis, 1st and 10. With Coach Zach Willis, he'll talk about what he saw from Clemson, what he saw from Cade Klubnik, what he saw from the Clemson defense. And then Newberry coach Todd Knight will join us as we talk about the Wolves winning another South Atlantic Conference championship with a thrilling victory at home in front of a sold-out crowd at Setzler Field, right across from the cemetery in Newberry. Be right back.
The holiday shopping season is here. Get ahead of the crowd by shopping early and shopping smart with Founders Federal Credit Union. Now through December 31st, take advantage of 5.99% APR on select purchases made with your Founders credit card. Whether you're picking up the hottest toys for the kids or finally grabbing that item you've had your eye on, this offer makes it easier to spend holiday cheer without stretching your budget. Founders is here to help you make the most of the season with smart spending and flexible options. Treat your family and yourself. Save more and make this holiday season one to remember. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc for more information. Membership qualification required. Promotional rate ends July 1st, 2026. Effective APR of 13% to 17.9% will apply. See website for details.
You're listening to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. We're back in a moment.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, time for recruiting on this Manic Monday, brought to you by Seawell's, the place to go for all your catering needs. For nearly 80 years, they have delivered with absolute professionalism and high quality. You need them. They want you. Give them a call, 803-771-7385, for all your catering needs. Online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. And, of course, tomorrow, daily lunch and buffet for this week begins from 11 till 2 for only $15. Get over there and enjoy. Okay, South Carolina had a basketball recruit in for their game last night. He's out of Charlotte, 6'7", R.J. Moore. He's in the 27 class, came down with his dad, very interested in South Carolina. They have not offered him, but they are showing some pretty serious interest. Probably will offer after Lamont Paris gets up to see him. He averaged 23.7 rebounds per game in high school last season. He's a scorer. Rutgers, Utah, Mississippi State, Wake Forest, Georgia, Georgia Tech, some of the offers. Football-wise, Clemson last week offered Michael Foster, 6'3", 290, from Indian Land. As that program has grown and starting to develop players, he's already committed to East Carolina, but now Clemson was his dream school. Clemson was his dream offer. He's been to camp there like 3 straight summers, and but right now he's still maintaining that he is committed to East Carolina. He wants to focus on the upcoming playoffs for his high school and go as far as he can with that before he thinks anything more. He has not been to a Clemson game this season, but he might get in for the Furman game coming up a week from Saturday. And he also recently picked up an offer from West Virginia. But right now, still committed to East Carolina. This season, he's got 103 tackles, 25 tackles for loss, and 10.5 sacks. So keep an eye on that one. Okay, on to some other recruiting notes from today and from the weekend. As we mentioned a little while ago, South Carolina women get a commitment from 6'2", Kaylee Wynn, out of Santa Clara, California. Back to football, 27 offensive tackle Joshua Samapel has South Carolina in his top 10. No big surprise. He's been big on the Gamecocks all along. The others on the list are Miami, Georgia, Nebraska, Tennessee, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Georgia Tech. Steve Wiltfong of Rivals has projected major South Carolina and Clemson offensive line target 2027 Maxwell Hiller of Coatesville, Pennsylvania, to Alabama. He was there on Saturday. Alabama also just offered his brother, high-level 28-6'6" basketball prospect Colton Hiller. Former Clemson commit defensive end Dre Quinn is down to Georgia Tech, Miami, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Texas for his next commitment. 27 corner Rodreon Cranford of Hartsville will visit Wake Forest on Saturday. He's also been to Florida and North Carolina this season. And Coastal Carolina landed a football commitment from defensive tackle Yendor Mack, 6'3", 295, out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. 2028 running back Michael Martin of Christ Church did make his visit to Clemson on Saturday. Maryland commitment defensive end Zion Ely, a South Carolina target. He did post a picture of a recent visit with the Gamecocks and defensive ends coach Sterling Lucas on his social media over the weekend. Read into that what you would like to read into it. And that is that. Recruiting tonight here on Sports Talk. 1st and 10 coming up.
On Point Weather on on 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We are clear and chilly this evening, our first freeze, with a low temperature dipping down to 27. Tomorrow, very breezy, chilly, but a day filled with sunshine for Veterans Day, the high reaching just 50 degrees. The rest of the week looks wonderful. Sunshine all the way into the weekend. We're warming up, the highs Wednesday and Thursday into the 60s and onto the 70s for Friday and Saturday and Sunday. No rain scheduled till maybe Sunday. I'm Cal Walsh with your on-point local weather.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
The Point.
After the With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. 8 senators are facing criticism from Democrats for their deal with Republicans to end the federal government shutdown. The 8 senators voted Sunday night to provide crucial votes to allow the Senate to move forward on compromise legislation that would reopen the government. Their decision was labeled a betrayal and pathetic by some of the most prominent voices in the Democratic Party. The Supreme Court has rejected a call to overturn its landmark decision that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. The justices on Monday turned away an appeal from a former Kentucky court clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples after the Supreme Court's 2015 ruling. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 381 points. The Nasdaq rose 522. More details at srnnews.com.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
How does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Sudeth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs, well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you become a customer? Call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SudethAuto.com.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
First and 10 with Zach Willis on the Sports Talk Media Network.
All right, thank you, you little snow bunny, Mrs. Willis. Snowing in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. I saw some video. Louisville, where Clemson's going to be in 4 days. It was snowing. Zach Willis joining us from
here tonight.
That's what you're telling me. I ain't buying it.
I'm not either. But I
it.
thought it was fascinating. It's actually saying chance of snow showers around 9 o'clock tonight here at the PD.
Coach Zach Willis joining us from London, Kentucky. Right there in the is it considered mountains or like foothills where you are?
Well, a little bit. I guess foothills. It's a lot like Greenville was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, just on the other side and north.
Gotcha. All right. Well, great to have you with us once again. We've got Coach Todd Knight coming up in a few minutes, so we're going to reunite two of the championship-winning coaches from Newberry College.
The only two.
The only two. Gotcha. I know you're
right.
proud of that,
My boy.
and he's proud of what he's done.
Oh, God.
Clemson. Did you see a lot of good? What did you see? Did you see a Clemson team that might have turned the page on this season, maybe?
You know, Phil, I'd like to think so. I think definitely offensively, the last 2 weeks they've looked really good. Klubnik's playing at an extremely high level, really showing it. It's strange to me. He seems like the second half of the year, the last 2 years, he's caught fire and played at the level they needed him to play at all year long. I don't know why that is, but it's obvious that he's throwing the ball extremely well, making great decisions, and the offense is clicking. Thought the running game looked good. I'd like to see the big boy from Myrtle Beach get it a little bit more, but the true freshman is showing up in a big way and doing some incredible things. I honestly, I'm still concerned about the defensive backfield and the lack of pass rush without a blitz at times from that defensive line that's so talented, but definitely better for them.
So going back to Adam Randall for a moment, first play of the game, they give it to him. He busts it for 12. There was another run by him. Maybe it was a swing pass where he was sort of running horizontally. Then he cut it upfield and broke between two defenders. Just a very NFL-like run. I mean, and to me, he's gotten better and better as the season has gone on. Do you think he has an NFL future as a running back?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. He's a big kid, I think right around 225, 230, right, in weight. Reminds me a lot of George. When we talked about this before, that style, I'm not saying he is that good, but he has that kind of skill set. And the thing about him that makes him really, really valuable to the NFL teams, he was a wide receiver most of his life and has incredible hands and runs great routes. He can do back-breaking things the defense is putting the right scheme and put to use. So there's no question about that. I really like him a lot.
Yeah. What do you think of the defense?
I just worry about the wheel routes. They were too wide open. They blew two coverages at Florida State, did not hit the receiver on. That's part of it. And Dabo alluded to it as a wheel route. And what they did basically is, it's on the cornerback, not the safety. The cornerback's taking what we call a post route, and they're running the number one receiver right over the corner, closest to the sideline, runs down and then breaks it to the middle of the field toward the goalpost. And that's why we call it a post route, being the geniuses that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wheel route is literally a second receiver comes behind him and his weight behind him, and that corner should break off of that route when it breaks in and let the safety take it in most coverages, and they're just not doing it. Or if they're supposed to have a linebacker follow that guy out, whoever it is, they're just not getting that covered. And that was a concern to me. Now, it wasn't a back-breaking concern. And the other thing is the defensive line's hand play again. Lack of technique, lack of strong commitment to fundamentals up front. And that's why we're seeing people get blocked that are five-star recruits is because they're not attacking properly and using their hands. And I can't believe they're not getting coached to. I just don't think the kids are trusting the coaching they're getting. And I've never known a D-line coach worth anything, even on the junior high school level. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. But most of the time it is, Phil, in these big games. It's fundamentals, and that's what it comes back to.
What are they heading into at Louisville? Louisville coming off a home loss in overtime to Cal. Their best offensive weapon is hurting. The running back, not sure yet if he'll play. Maybe he won't. What is Clemson getting into as far as what you know about this Louisville team?
I think it's going to be a tough game because it'd been better if Louisville would have won for Clemson. I think they're going to be really focused in and dialed in. Coach Brom's an excellent coach. Even though Clemson's does not have the record, Louisville's going to feel like they can beat them. I think they had a really good game against Clemson last year, and we're going to see, I think, a really good football game. I'm actually taking my baby boy back up to his first college football game to watch this one. And we got a Friday, then Carolina plays on Saturday, and I just want to see a good game to see the Tigers play up to their potential. And I think that's the key, is just be who you are, as Dabo says, and play up to your potential.
Now, in the state of Kentucky this week, I'm not sure what day it is, if it's during the week or Saturday, you got Louisville and Kentucky basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that's dominating everything in that state, is it not?
I went to the barbershop today, Phil, and that's all they could talk about. And that's the one, I hate to say, bad thing about living in this state is once it gets even close to basketball season, they have amnesia no matter if they've got an undefeated team. Louisville was ranked 14th in the country, and it hurts their recruiting. But at the same time, too, there's not a lot of pressure on the coaches up here, and there's some really good football that's played here late in the middle of December on the high school level, and there's some good college teams that have come through here, too. But all I heard about today was Kentucky and Louisville, and that is a very heated rivalry in all sports.
Yeah. Number 9, number 12 meeting in basketball up there, so it's probably on a Saturday, I would imagine. Berg, you know when that game's being played? I didn't check the date.
I do not.
Probably on a Saturday. Yeah, check that while we welcome in. As we go to Coach Todd Knight, let me tell you what Newberry did against Carson Newman. 28-21, the Wolves, Setzler Field, packed crowd for the championship regular season. 28-21, they win it and secure a bid to the D2 playoffs. Carson Newman had the ball 4th down from the Newberry 12 with 4 seconds left. Santori Jones intercepted a pass in the corner of the end zone to seal the win. 3rd South Atlantic Conference title in the last 5 seasons. The Wolves have won their 5th game on their final offensive possession. True freshman backup H-back Keyshawn Washington made a fingertip catch of a Reed Sharpia pass and went 70 yards for a touchdown for a 28-21 lead with 1:48 left. Then they had to hang on as Carson Newman drove it 63 yards, 13 plays to get down the field, and they had that big defensive play. Another big game for Sharpia, 21 of 29, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 267 yards. He's at 26.82 on the season, 23 touchdowns, 1 interception, 70% completion. Wow. What a season. We welcome in Coach Todd Knight to Sports Talk, to First and 10, to on-air reunion with his good friend and fellow Newberry championship coach, Zach Willis, with us as well. Coach Knight, welcome in. How are you? And what happened? Did you blow up the computer with the Newberry fight song? What have you do? Well, Zach's with us. How about Coach Knight? It looks like we might have had a malfunction junction in our computer. Let's see if we got Coach Knight with us now. Coach, are you with us?
I'm here.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
I went through all that. That's okay. We fumbled at the 1. You got an interception at the 1. So that's great. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Doing good, Phil. I appreciate that. And I don't. Is Coach on here with us?
He's on with us.
Hey, Coach Willis, how you doing, sir?
I'm better now. I heard about that big win.
Hey, look here. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here.
Well, let me tell you what. I've already got my story for Todd Knight for this show tonight. I was in the shower after I worked out thinking about this. You remember the first NCAA playoff game they ever hosted at Setzer Field?
Absolutely, I do.
This is how tough Todd Knight is, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
I come out on the field, and Todd ain't complained, ain't said nothing to me, been out there getting the kids ready to go, getting people fired up, slapping people, getting slapped, the whole thing that he always did for our team. And he comes up and said, Coach, I need to talk to you. I need you to stay calm, which was a struggle for me back then. And he said, I'm blind in one eye. I can't see out of one of my eyes.
Uh-huh.
And I said, do what? I said, man, you kidding me. Kind of like it snowing in Columbia in November.
Yeah.
And he coached that entire game with one eye. would not take medical attention. He told me at one point, I said, Todd, it's as important, but it ain't as important as your health. And he said, Coach, don't give me that right now. I've worked just as hard as anybody to be here, and I won't stay here. I'll go to the doctor when the game's over. And his wife was about to have a fit with him. And I said, listen, I ain't depriving that man, because I understood what kind of person he was. And he was there from the absolute beginning. Really didn't get paid at all except for gas when he came to us, and sacrificed everything right along with the rest of us to make Newberry into what it's become, and took over when I left and has done a magnificent job from top to bottom. And that sounds like a true character game. And the way Newberry, we always won, Todd, was with high character kids and great defense and individual effort at the end of the game. But I just wanted to say how proud I am and tell everybody across the state how much I love you. And I would have never won one championship if it wasn't for Todd Knight.
Shoot, Coach, about a third of that might be true, but I appreciate it. I love you too, man. Hey, we had some great teams together over the years, and Coach, you wouldn't believe how much I learned from you. And I just appreciate you so much. And I've told these kids this year. I said, listen, I'm not. This is a compliment. This isn't anything negative right here. I said, are we the most talented team that's ever been here? Probably not. We're not the biggest, but the thing that clicks with this group that we have this year is, at the end of the day, they believe in each other. And I look back on all the teams, like the one that we had, Coach, in 06, man, we were loaded. Golly, we were loaded in 06.
Yeah.
And this group, they just play with a lot of heart, and they never give up. They fight all the way to the end, and did it again this Saturday. Won the conference championship with 4 seconds on the clock.
Wow. I love to hear that. I mean, that's the stuff, Phil, that's missing in major college football that we talk about all the time on this show. And I'll guarantee you, Todd Knight has had some. You never fired a coach in the middle of the year just for performance, have you, Todd?
Absolutely not. And
thank you.
Been blessed to not be in that position myself as well.
Bill,
I think college football is going crazy, I don't know if it'll ever. I don't know if it'll ever come back to be what it used to be. But at our level, things are a little different. The money that everybody's going crazy over is not at our level, and probably won't ever be. Now we have a first ever NIL program here this year, but it's nothing. It's peanuts compared to what you're seeing on TV. But our kids feel like they've arrived because they're getting a little bit of money here and there. And if they feel like that, then great. I think that's just one more thing that's icing on the cake for this season that's helped us do a little bit better.
Coach,
Bill,
I was going to say, Todd, I was going to say, the way the game ended against Carson Newman, I mean, so symbolic of your entire season. As I went through the story there, the number of down to the wire last minute wins. I mean, it's great to win. It's tough on your health, I'm sure. Have you ever gone through a season where, and you guys have had championship seasons before, but have you ever gone through a season where you've had so many close finishes? And fortunately for you and your program, they all pretty much went your way except for one.
Yeah, No, I've never been around a season like this where kids just fight all the way completely to the end, and it's worked out for them. And it seems like halftime speech is just a recording. You're the best second half team I've ever seen. Go out there, own the second half, go win it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been hard. And those kids have gone out in the second half and just believed that, hey, look, it doesn't matter. We were down by 21 at a couple of games and came back and won them. And, against Carson Newman, it's been us and Wingate, us and LR, us and Carson Newman for years, even going back to the first one with me and Coach Willis. And that Carson Newman game, it's historic, because you're facing something that you don't see all the time. The split back veer for years, and now it's the flex bone triple option, and the trick to it is getting kids to mimic that offense throughout the week. They got to go wide open, and most of those kids have never even, they didn't run the option in high school. Yeah. So it's extremely hard to go out and get the defense ready. I got to give Coach Stephen Flynn a lot of credit. I mean, he went out there defensively. It was a tale of two halves, and offensively and defensively, it was the complete opposite. Cole Watson did a great job, dynamic, trick plays, whatever was in the book. Coach Flynn, old school as it gets. Went out there, assignment football, let's smash them, let's squeeze it, let's make plays, and just fight all the way to the end, and picked it off in the end zone with 4 seconds to go. So it was a great game, great game. I'm so proud of our kids and proud of the coaching staff.
Guys, we got to go to a break here in just a moment, but I do want you, Coach Knight, to talk about Reed Sharpia. And I said, he might be, based on the numbers and everything he's done and what your team's done, he might be the state's MVP this year.
Harlan Hill, too.
There's no question. I mean, if he's not the MVP of our league, somebody's made a massive mistake. 2 years ago, we recruited Reed out of high school, and he bounced around to a bunch of different places. He shows up at spring practice 2 years ago and talking to me on the sidelines, and I said, Reed, son, I've recruited you out of high school. You went here, 4 or 5 schools, and now you're standing here with me. Why? Why Newberry? Why here? Why now? And this is what the kid told me 2 years ago. Coach, I'm coming here to win a championship. And he kept his word.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to hear.
I hope they're pushing for the Harlan Hill, Todd. 1 interception all year long, a championship. That's unbelievable.
Boy, Coach, and I'm gonna tell you, defensive end from Wingate buzzed into the flats, and Reed didn't see him, and he threw it in the flats late, and that kid made a great play and picked it off. So it wasn't one of those where he tried to force it in a small window, that kind of thing. I think the kid from Wingate just made a great play. But when you can sit there and say we've 9-1 conference champs, and I only threw 1 pick all year, that's saying something.
Amazing.
Because we put it in the air now. We're not out there throwing it 5 or 6 times a game. We might throw it 35 times a game.
Some things never change.
Gentlemen, we got to go to our last hard break. We thank you so much, Coach Knight. Congratulations to you. We'll be talking again.
Hey, Coach Phil, thank y'all for having us on.
Coach Willis, thank you,
sir. Congratulations, and I'm proud.
Appreciate both of you being with us. Zach, enjoy your time up at Louisville. Look for Smitty while you're up there. And we will be back, wrap it up after this break.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
G3 here with Tsunami Bar Sports, and it's time for a fall preview. That's right, 720 Chris Drive, 378 and I-26, Frontage Road, where you can now preview the best technology for golf known to man. It's the Tsunami Bar. It's live weight. It's the only technology out where you get your tempo and flow going before you play. Now, it also serves as a pattern support tool. 720 Chris Drive, Frontage Road, 378 and I-26. You also can visit the Garage Gym Pro Shop. Pick up your tools, take them home, and while you're here, tour the Scramble Course 6-hole pitch and putt right now.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Might have to watch the Packers outside tonight if it's snowing in Columbia. That way I'll have a true feel for Lambeau conditions tonight. Drake Baldwin of the Braves is the National League Rookie of the Year. He is the 10th Braves player to win Rookie of the Year. I guess it's just Rookie of the Year, not National League Rookie of the Year. It's just Rookie of the Year? Just for the majors? It's not a National League?
No, it's National League. He is National League
Just
Rookie
National
of the
League.
Year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he wins that. Had a heck of a year for a bad team this year, but you keep him and someone that you can build around. That Kentucky-Louisville basketball game is tomorrow night, you're saying?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Okay.
They won't be able to cram another person into Yum Center with a shoehorn.
I would
Good
think
grief.
not.
I can't imagine the crowd for that game.
What a week for Louisville to host that game and then
no doubt
have Clemson coming in. Furman is leading Columbia International 58-42. Games in the second half. The Citadel, Charleston Southern playing tonight. They're at the half, and it is 48-45 El Cid.
Do you have this? I was going to say for both teams because Charleston Southern's in the top 10 as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. See if I can pull that up in a minute. We've got Georgia State leading Presbyterian. That can't, Is that men? 35-25. Would PC be? No, they play Columbia Wednesday. They're playing Columbia Wednesday. That's right. Georgia State 35, PC 25 at the half. And North Carolina A&T leading South Carolina State 28-15 in the first half. Of course, tomorrow night you got South Carolina Clemson women. You think Clemson's got anything for them as far as showing some improvement?
No. Now, improvement maybe.
Yeah.
But improvement when you've been beaten by 50 and 60 points. I mean, if they keep it within 25, I think that'll be marked improvement.
And you got Winthrop tomorrow night.
I do.
Oh, big South
I told
rival.
you before, Winthrop Coastal never disappoints.
No.
It'll be fun tomorrow night.
Well, that's all we got. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.